I am Brianna. This is my life on paper, and I'm playing along with Christy's Beautiful Life in her 30 days of sketches all month long. Today, the sketch is by Devra Adler Hunt, and it is day 21. Almost all of these sketches that we are doing this month or using this month have been provided exclusively for Christy. Super exciting. And I'm doing Christmas. Now, I just I cut the pictures down to 3x4, and I can tell you right now that I'm gonna have to trim them some more. I went into my Christmas stash. I got this background paper out, and I reserve the rights to change my mind and get a different background paper, but I have used this a little bit. You can see where I take my Creative Memories punch. This is 1.5 inches and it fits exactly around here. This is Simple Stories, Make It Merry. And it probably has a year on here. 2021. So I kind of took this for inspiration, and then I pulled out some papers. And I have a paper pack that I got that is 8.5 by 11. So I went into there and picked 3 different papers that I thought would go good. This doesn't have that light green, but because this has the light green and the dark green, I shouldn't say dark green, bright green, I feel like this pulls it all together. I know I have this gingham pattern and this gingham pattern, but this is so much bigger. I don't think that's a problem. And then to bring it all together more, I have this. So depending on how this goes, my plan is to use this for the strip, 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 use that for the background paper, use these for embellishments, probably one on each, under each photo. But then I also have a whole bunch of stuff over here, just for my random stash. This is from Creative Memories. This I got at a scrapbook crop. I think I'm going to stay away from all the circly bits because I already have some circles. So I don't think I'll be using those, but I just pulled them out in case. Here I have some felt pieces that are poinsettias. I have some bright green brads that are trees. Some flowers. These are Ellie's Studio. Oh, I have some glittery bits, some gems that are like holly berries. They could be poinsettias if you, nah, they're not really poinsettias. It's more like holly. This is Ellie's Studio. No. Oh, we're good. These are some Christmas ones. I might use the red and the green from these. Maybe that's something I can use. I do have some enamel dots. Dear Santa by Cartabella. These, I believe, my very good friend Becky gave to me in my advent calendar. So those are possibilities. They have a little bit of a circle, so I'm keeping my mind like how much circly bits go on there. Some trees from doodle bugs. I have some brads that would also work. I'm gonna sneeze now. Phew. I have some brads by Doodlebug. I'm not so sure. I'm a little afraid of each under the picture turning out the same, so those may or may not work, or maybe I'll use one. I have a tag which might turn into my title. I'm not certain, but that's there. And then I have these stickers from Paper Studio. I want to keep it more not Santa. I'm not even sure if I want the presents. The trees is a really good one. So I just have all these options. What I'm going to do is get you sped up and let you know what I'm doing. I'm going to let you know right now, this is not my favorite layout. It has nothing to do with the sketch. I saw somebody else's sketch and I have some modifications I would make again the next time. So I had already cut the pictures down, and I cut them down even further. They end up being 2.5 by 3.5 inches. To do this again, I wouldn't be so precise. I think I would eyeball more things, and that especially, and maybe not so much for the pictures, but you'll see that in the paper. Right away, I have four pieces of paper that coordinate. I wanted to use the 8.5 by 11 sheets that I had, so that it's just a good way to use up those pieces that aren't 12 by 12. Here's where I should have just kind of eyeballed it, but I was like measuring. And this isn't one that needed to be measured. If you look in the sketch, it's not like it's a stair step. They are kind of off. And so I think I cut that one too short, and that one should have been longer. I cut them all too short. And the second two, I end up redoing. And it looks just fine in the end. I saw somebody's today that they used solid papers, and actually they didn't trim it at all. It was a full strip of paper. I like that. So here I'm still measuring, and I'm really not getting anywhere. I cut them too short. You know, if you look at it, I mean, I did a stair step that's way too short because it should end up closer to the top. So then I flip out those two, just change them out for a bigger strip. So then I start embellishing, and I get particular about the embellishing. So even though this is like sped up 4 times, it's still a 12-minute video. Because once I find what I want, I punch circles out of the sheet, out of that simple story sheet. So I use that on every column. And then I'm just going into my stash and finding different things that'll match and coordinate. I want to have a tree on each column. And I did. I found a very different tree for each column. And each one has a circle, and each one has a word in the column, not necessarily under the picture. Did I tell you that these are door decorating pictures from church? I have a health ministry at church, and there's a door decorating contest, and we won the prize for the best appearance. Very exciting. Doodlebug stickers, I'm trimming them down to be a strip right below the photo. And those weren't the easiest to work with either. But I'm getting there. Some of these things go into my stash and then they sit there, so I gotta get them out and use them. And this sketch works for that. I used one of the snow globe ones, and it says Noel, one of the snow globe stickers, so that works in that cluster. And I get the present, the Brad present, that's a doodlebug down there, and I decided I didn't want one in every cluster. So pieces from Creative Memories, that goes on there. And then I end up putting these tree brads into that column, and then I'm looking for something and I flip the whole thing. That's why it was scattering. So I get down the columns, and then I use my piercing tool to get the trees in. Those are brads. And that works well. And I just kind of overlap them, and they're 2 different colors, and I'm very happy with that. So I have lots of different reds and greens, and for a while I was trying to like keep certain reds away from each other and, you know, make sure all the greens were the same, and I gave up on that, and it looks just fine. I'm using my ATG to get the pictures down and the strips down and the circles down. What is that? Oh, the poinsettia. There goes a poinsettia. I've had that for over 15 years. I used it to decorate my kids. They each had a felt stocking to decorate in kindergarten. So that goes on there. I have several left to use in years to come. That's the sticker from Paper Studio, and The Best Time, that's from Ellie's Studio. I'm thinking hard there, you can tell. That was kind of wonky, so I fixed that up. And then I realized one doesn't have that strip, but you can only see like a little piece sticking out. So I cut it big and trim her down, because you're not going to see any of it. Oh, that one is decent size. That one goes all the way across. But underneath the door itself, I guess I don't fix that right away. There's one more cluster that needs a tree. Now they all have trees. And that's where I figured out, and the striped strip goes, but it only needs just a little bit peeking out of there, so it gets trimmed down. And I can save for another cluster in the future. I make my title on the Cricut. It says Christmas cheer. And here is, again, if you're new, I don't like putsy, so I make sure to get something that's done off the Cricut and it's all looped together so you don't have a whole bunch of pieces. So I just have to glue down cheer separately. I did make the chevrons on the Cricut as well. And I made this little take too. She had a circular element there. And her journaling was in the fourth column on the bottom, and I just didn't want to or have a way to do that. So I'm just going to do my journaling on the circular element, which is a tag. And then I use the cutout from the tree to go in the cluster at the below that picture that it's under. This Christmas gives me a little bit of a run for my money, but I get it down. And this one of the E's, they're wonky E's, and I had erased the image off my Cricut, and I'm like, that looks wrong. So I flipped it and put it down again. And I have no idea how it's supposed to be, but I like it. So Christmas cheer. And then I go into my enamel dots because I've lost my red dots for my red eyes. Oh, get those chevrons glued down. And the enamel dots become the dots for the eyes. Have a fabulous day, and I'll see you again tomorrow for another video.